Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Listen, we need to talk about this James Craig. This man is a whole entire mess. Opening statements day 1 and day 2 of his trial are behind us. We are going to talk about them. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share out this madness that I call a YouTube channel. Me and you, we're going to get to 30,000 subscribers together. So listen, I am here with a channel called Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. You are not here for facts. We need to start right there so everybody is clean and clear. You are not here for facts. You F-A-C-T-S. You're here for facts. F-A-X. Stuff I heard. I frequently have a fact partner, somebody who could give you like actual information from court and stuff. That person doesn't know they're my fact partner, but for this case, my fact partner is Laura Matthias down there at the Hidden True Crime. She every day is giving us all the facts and details. Me, I'm just giving you my impressions of how things went down in court. Okay. So look. The jury is all seated. They have 9 women and 6 men. And I was like, didn't this man cheat on his wife? This not gonna go good for him. But okay, I'm sure these 9 women and 6 men will keep a very, very open mind about this scumbag. I have prejudged him. Don't judge me for prejudging him. I am not on the jury. Okay, so the state stands up and they're like, hey, jury, hey, Angela Craig, wait, this is the state of Colorado, also known as Central Idaho, Iowa. I can't keep all them square states over there straight. So to me, everything from like Illinois to California, that's Idaho, Iowa. And so Colorado, that's Central Idaho, Iowa. We all on the same page now? Okay, good. Andrew Craig got sick. This is the opening statements, right? Andrew Craig gets sick and she's like, oh, I'm really not feeling good. And right when you think her husband would be there to comfort her, he was there to unfortunately unalive her. It was a terrible situation. Angie was a married mom. She'd been married for 23 years. They had 6 kids, her and James Craig. And they later determined in an autopsy that she was sent off to the Endless Heaven buffet by way of cyanide and Visine smoothies. That sounds disgusting. What does Visine taste like? I'm not going to taste it because now that we know from all these cases that it will, unfortunately unalive you. But I do wonder if it tastes like anything. Anyway, so we learned in opening statements, I know this case. I've been following this case for 2 years, but we learned in opening statements that somebody in the family put up a camera in the kitchen that was secretly recording the family. Who in your family is secretly, like, was it like a grandmother or was it one of the kids? One of the kids was like, daddy up to no good. I don't know. Let's just put this camera right over here. So the family at the time of these recordings somebody in the family knew. We just don't know who. Somebody didn't know that the kitchen was being recorded. Was it Angela? Was it one of the daughters? You know it's not a woman alive who's not half an FBI agent. I suspect, based on just because I feel it in my spirit, one of the daughters put up a camera. But I don't know that for sure. See, also, you not here for FACTX, you here for FAX. Anyway, so the camera caught James making smoothies. Did they see him putting suspicious stuff in it? They also caught Angela passed out on the floor and then crawling to try and like get herself together to help the kids and do all the things. Angie, being sick, did what you would normally do. She let her Google fingers do the walking and she was Googling all of her symptoms and stuff. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. So she went to the doctor and she went to the urgent care. She went to the hospital and they kept sending her home. Meanwhile, her loving husband, James, was like, ooh, girl, you look terrible. Say cheese, click, click. And he took her picture and sent a picture of his sick/dying wife to his mistress. Sir, oh, I want to convict him on the strength of that. But I am not on the jury. Anyway. Dr. James Craig had a failing business. He had several life insurance policies on his wife, and he was having several affairs. These are all things we learned in the opening statements. Based on this part of the opening statements alone, he's guilty. He has a murdery face. I don't like him. Lock him up. But I am also keeping a very open mind. Jimmy was on several dating sites. Okay, and he has some very fascinating Google searches, including, how do you make murder look like a heart attack? Sir, nobody told you could Google on incognito? Because I'm just sitting here minding my business. Like, if that's your Google search, they could arrest you on the strength of that one Google search alone, sir. You are crazy. And then he also Googled, do they look for cyanide in autopsies? I don't That's not things you should be Googling. I'm just saying. Not a good Google search. He also ordered online assorted poisons in case, if one poison lets you down, you need like a backup poison. Meanwhile, after he ordered the assorted poisons, well, he couldn't have them coming to the house because his wife would be like, let's open this package, probably thinking it was some shoes she ordered from Amazon or something like that. So he was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be super duper sneaky. I'm going to order all of my poisons to be delivered down at the dentist's office. And so he calls the office manager's like, hey girl, hey, listen, I'm expecting a personal package. Do not open it up. Just put it right on my desk and don't let anybody else see it. And she was like, okay. Well, one of the other assistants opened the mail and was like, here's a package. I don't know what this is, but it says hazardous and you might die if you touch it. I figured I would give it to you. And the office manager was like, girl, okay, let's put on some of these gloves. Let's see. Oh, this is probably that personal package that Jimmy was looking for. We're going to package it back up like nothing ever happened. And she put it in his office, right? But that office manager calls like the boss of the owner of the practice was Jimmy and a dude he went to dental school with. The dude he went to dental school with has a wife who is the wife is a nurse who is also a PhD. So she's a doctor nurse. The office manager calls the doctor nurse and was like, girl, I found some poison and I don't know what's happening, but his wife's in the hospital and stuff and this don't look good. Okay, you ain't hear from me though. Click, hangs up. So the doctor nurse tells the hospital tell the police give Angie the antidote, but it was too late. Her brain had already, gone off to the endless heaven buffet ahead of her, and she ultimately passed away. The hospital was like, we did get this little message. And so they arrest Jimmy and they raid the house. And at the house, he was like, oh, okay, let me see if I can throw away all these smoothie ingredients. Hey, daughter, would you be willing to cover for me? So, let's just get together and make a plan. So he conspires with the daughter and talks to the daughter, and the daughter's like, right. Okay, daddy, I'll see you later. Boop, 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 boop. Hello, police. My daddy over here trying to get me to tell lies and stuff. And I am a good Christian girl. I'm not going to tell no lies. You should maybe come and arrest his behind. And so that's exactly what the police did. Now, Jimmy, down in jail, stupid, fully installed. The Act Right installation team need to come and get him right away. But clearly, there was no Act Right to be found on this one. He should have been mail ordering some of that. But anyway, he's down in jail. He's like, look, yes, I've been arrested. Yes, everybody in the community and my children know that I unfortunately unalived my wife. But I've got some more tricks up my sleeve. I've hatched an evil plan. It should have been, I've hatched a stupid plan, because that was a real stupid plan. So he was just like, okay, while I'm in jail, let me look around. Who could help me here? Hello, jail colleagues. How you doing? My name is Jimmy, and I give real bright smiles. Can you help me with a little problem that I'm having with the unfortunate unaliving of my spouse? Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. So he hatched this plan, and he told his little jail colleagues, and they were like, oh, wow. Boop, 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 boop. Hello, police. You know what Jimmy down here at the jail done did? It's terrible. That was the opening statements, according to me. And so then the defense got up and was like, oh my goodness. They told a fabulous tale, but let us give you the other side. And I was like, okay, defense, I think he's a liar, a scumbag, and a killer, but I'm willing to keep an open mind about him. And so the defense attorney gets up and she's like, Angie Craig was sick. She was very sick. It was terrible. Angie Craig was poisoned. And I was like, then why are we here? Why, if you're saying that she was poisoned, why are you on my TV? Actually, you're not on my TV, but why is this case still happening? Then the defense attorney opened her mouth and all the audacity in the world bubbled up. And she said, but you have to ask how. This case is not what it seems. I know it seems like he's super duper guilty, but let me give you the other side of that. Nobody here likes James. Nobody. I don't even like him. Yes, he had an outside affair, but that lady wasn't anything special. He'd been cheating on his wife for 23 years. Yes, their entire marriage, he was diddling other ladies' kibbles and bits. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I mean, I understand where they say if there's a bad fact in your case, if you're a defense attorney, you have to just get out in front of it. The way in which this lady got out in front of it, I was like, Can we stone him now? Are we not, we can't, the slap penalty, we hear gossip, rumor, and innuendo, do not advocate for the unfortunate unaliving of others. But, and however, I personally do advocate for the slap penalty. That is where everybody who wants to and is interested just stands in a line and stands up and smacks the fire out of this boy. Now, is that legal? It's likely assault. But what I'm saying is, I feel in my spirit like the very least he should get is the slap penalty from all the people in the community. And then we could go on and have the rest of this trial. But that's not what the defense was arguing. They went on to say, despite the fact that he had been cheating on his wife for 23 years, their entire marriage, he was a loving husband. Huh? What? That recent affair was nothing new. Angie knew he was out here diddling other ladies' kibbles and bits. They're a Mormon family. They sought help from the bishop. A defense attorney, they needed more than the bishop. They needed more than Moroni and all them other folks over there. They needed Jesus. Actual Jesus, not the 12 apostles, not the quorum, not the ward, not the whatever else y'all got over there in the LDS community. Actual Jesus, Jesus Christo. They needed to just something. They needed a higher authority. Possibly God. Was God busy? Because he needed God. Actual God. Anyway, this defense attorney went on to say, help me, Black Jesus. This woman opened her mouth and said in court, Angie is not what you thought. She was attention seeking. She was manipulative. Ma'am, listen, I know you out here leaving it all on the field, defending your client, but some of us in the community allegedly may be interested in giving you the slap penalty. How do you open your... Okay, you know, I needed to breathe in a bag for a minute and have a moment. And then I had to go on and listen to the rest of what she had to say. She said, you know, at one point, Angie said, nobody would think I would unfortunately unalive myself before I would unalive you because you, sir, are terrible. Angie was not wrong in that. This is what the defense attorney is saying about her client in opening statements. The wife had threatened to unalive him. And had she done it, it's not a woman in the world who would have convicted her because he is clearly a scumbag. See, also, I am not on the jury, so don't go by me. Anyway. The defense attorney explains to us, there was no poison found in the home. Sure there wasn't, because it was all in her body. Anyway, and he was like, she says, they also didn't search Angie's things. I mean, maybe it was all tucked away in Angie's stuff. Oh, by her stuff, you mean like her liver, her kidneys, her heart, and her lungs? Yeah, it was tucked away in Angie's stuff. I was like, okay, Laura Matthias, I know you giving us these facts, but these people got my pressure up. My pressure should not be this high. It's not good for my health. I'm a middle-aged woman. So then they start calling witnesses. And a bunch of doctors and nurses got up there and they were like, she was very, very sick. She went to the hospital a couple of times. She went to the urgent care a couple of times. It was a terrible situation. That ended day 1. So day 2 of trial comes up and I'm like, okay, I might not be ready for this case. I thought I was truly, truly ready for this case. I thought I was ready to cover it. I thought I knew the depth of scumbaggery that this man was. I was not prepared for what else I found out. On day 2 of trial, the office manager takes the stand. Remember the office manager who found the poison in the mail and then told the people? I was like, you know I love a nosy office manager. Few things please me more. A nosy neighbor, a nosy office manager, a nosy mother-in-law, all of it. Especially if they're going to get on the stand and tell all your personal business. I'm leaning in. I want to know every single thing. So the office manager gets up and she's just like, he was at work one day, said his wife was sick. At the end of the day, I found him tucked away down there in office 9 with exam room 9 with all the lights turned off and he's letting his Google fingers do the walking on the computer in the dark alone. And then he's talking about, I got a package coming, but don't open it. Please make sure nobody opens it because it's a personal package. And the office manager is like, oh, well, that's weird because people don't get personal packages around here. This is a business. Meanwhile, James is off at the hospital dealing with his wife, and he's on the phone with the office manager like, it look like Angie I don't think she gonna make it through the night. She looks terrible. So what else is going on at the office? Did y'all get that new coffee maker we were talking about? He just switched and was talking about other stuff, and she was like, ooh, that's strange. And then the package arrives, right? But one of the girls at the front desk didn't know they weren't supposed to open it. They just thought it was just another package for the office. So they give it to the office manager. The office manager opens it up, and she's like, oh, I think this is that personal thing he was looking for. Wait, there's a warning label on it. Cyanide, whatever, citric cyanide, whatever. She saw like the clinical name for this poison. And she's like, oh, okay, let's package this back up and let's just put this on his desk. I'm going to let my Google fingers do the walking though, because I never seen that chemical in this practice before. And I thought it might be fentanyl. I did not know that the dentist gave you fentanyl. Do I have a cavity needs to be filled? I'm just asking for myself. Anyway, not that I am a narcotics enthusiast. I absolutely am not. 28 years sober. Praise God. Anyway, so the office manager is like, his wife is sick and he's ordering poison. I told you it's not a woman alive who's not half an FBI agent. So she was like, ding. Okay. What are all the symptoms of cyanide poisoning? Oh, it looks like Angie has all of those. And so she was like, boop, boop, boop. Hello, boss, doctor, nurse. Y'all, James done did it. And the doctor nurse was like, wait, what? Okay. Thanks for letting me know, girl. I'm going to stick this in my pocket and I'm going to see what I can do. Then the defense team gets up to cross-examine the office manager. And I was like, they better not touch a hair on her precious head. What are they going to say? And they were like, okay, office manager, you only worked there for like 6 months or something, right? And she was just like, And then the defense attorney dropped a bomb. Didn't you have an affair with James? What? She was like, well, see, what happened was, we were rooting for you, office manager. Were you one of these ladies who was just out here giving up out of both draw legs like these other chicks that he was dealing with? And she was like, no. It was an emotional affair. He just kept talking to me about his personal life and his personal problems or whatever. He initiated it. I was helpless. And then the defense attorney was like, and how did he talk to you? On his regular office phone? And she's like, well, no, on his secret squirrel phone. Because wouldn't a many-year philanderer have a secret squirrel phone? He probably had several. And I was like, And then the defense is like, right, but you never told the police about your affair, right? And she's like, well, no, because that was not none of their business. We were talking about him being a poisoner. Plus, deep in my heart, because I was emotionally attached to him, I didn't want him to be an unfortunate unaliver. But when it became clear, I just had to tell, because, I'm not trying to get caught up in no mess. I'm not trying to go to jail or nothing like that. And I figured if the police were doing their research, they would find his secret squirrel phone. That's not on me. And I was like, okay. Then the state calls Michelle. She is the wife of James's business partner. That's the lady who was a doctor, who is a nurse, but she has a PhD in nursing, a doctor nurse, right? And so they're Michelle and Jimmy, the accused, were like texting back and forth about, oh my goodness, this symptom, that symptom, whatever. And Jimmy pipes up and he's like, oh, this would be an interesting puzzle if it weren't for my wife were there lingering near death. And Melissa, I keep wanting to call her Melissa, Michelle responds, truth. And I'm like, okay, is this just how doctors talk to each other? Is this how clinicians talk to each other? Because that I can forgive. But part of me is like, Jimmy, you're real casual considering, your wife about to slip the surly bonds of this earth. And then the doctor nurse was like, I did get that call from the office manager, though, about the poison. I'm going to tell my husband and I'm going to let him decide, because maybe Jimmy is an evil poisoner, or maybe this is just a weird coinky-dink, and my husband, the dentist, would know maybe why you would need cyanide, citric cyanide, whatever it was, at a dental practice. She's like, I'm just a doctor nurse. We don't be prescribing that to people, so let's find out. And the doctor nurse was like, yeah, no, girl, that's not a thing. Boop, boop, hello, hospital. The hospital was like, boop, 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 hello, police. And so the doctor nurse and her husband, Jimmy's business partner, leave the hospital. Shortly after they leave, Jimmy calls them. Bring, bring. They're like, hello. And he was just like, what did you do? What did you tell the hospital? And his business partner was like, we know you got a package at the office. Stupid Jimmy opens his mouth and it's like, that was a ring I was ordering for my wife. You don't understand. And the doctor was like, we know it was poison. Someone opened the package. And he was like, I can't believe you told on me. Oh my gosh. The doctor was like, cut the crap, Jimmy. We know you're going down. You should get a lawyer. And he was like, let me just explain why I ordered poison for my wife. My wife asked me to poison her. I mean, not poison her, but like lightly poison her. We were playing a game of chicken. And so I ordered the poison to see if she would actually poison herself. Sir, I too have been married for a very long time. Since 2000. I've been with my husband since 2001. I don't know how many years that is because I'm not here to math. I'm just a friendly neighborhood gossip, but a long time. You know what we've never done? Play who can poison each other. Never. He periodically and from time to time has cooked me dinners that I suspected might be poisonous, but no, it just turns out he overcooks noodles. That's a totally different thing. Not poison. The texture was not great, but still not poison. This, I'm going to order cyanide and see if you can die thing. No, that's not a thing. And so the prosecution asked, was Angie manipulative? And Melinda, whatever her name is, the doctor nurse was just like, no, she was not. She was a good, decent woman, a hardworking LDS lady with 6 kids. That's a lot of kids. She had 6 kids for this man, and he didn't have the common decency to keep it in his drawers, child. The fact that she did not perform a circumcision on her, a full, complete, where you take everything, she's a better woman than me. Anyway, so the cross-examination, the defense attorney gets up there to cross-examination, the doctor nurse, and she's just like, I mean, y'all didn't really spend a lot of time together in the last few years, did you? And the doctor nurse was like, no, not really. She didn't really confide in me in her marital troubles, but why would she? Plus, Jimmy out here telling God and all the world. Jimmy is a chatty Cathy. I know a little something about that chatty Cathy life. Jimmy failed shut up class. So did I. Quiet as it's kept. It's not kept that quiet. But I'm not out here running off at the mouth about trying to unfortunately unalive people. And they were like, okay, you're excused from the stand. And I was like, ooh, child, I'm worn out. This got to be it. And then somebody from the supermarket got up there. And I was like, y'all just got, you go... Is my Piggly Wiggly receipt admissible in a court of law? What are we talking about? So somebody from the supermarket, I don't know, some sort of security team got up there and were like, we have all his receipts from the supermarket, and he bought 19 bottles of Visine. 19 bottles of Visine. Now listen, I understand that these are nice LDS people and they believe in food storage and prepping or hoarding or whatever you call it, but not. How much red eyes do you expect to have in the end times? You're like, ooh, the world is burning down, but I can certainly get the red out. Like, nah, that's not how that goes. An average person does not order 19 bottles of Visine short of trying to unfortunately unalive somebody. So the defense team gets up there and they were like, but anybody could have used his card at that store to buy all those 19 bottles of Visine. And the supermarket person was like, I guess. Also, if you're going to take somebody's card, why wouldn't you buy like the expensive stuff? Buy meat, buy protein powder, buy, I don't know what's expensive at the grocery store, but not Visine. Because Visine, I don't get it. Crazy line of questioning. But I understand they have very little to work with, so they're doing what they're going to do. And then this last witness took the stand. Child, I was worn out. I was like, Laura Matthias, I'm going to need you to take a break because I was listening to her cover this case and I was exhausted. I was like, okay, we have to be done for the day. And then another explosive witness took the stand. How many explosive witnesses will there be in this case? I'm telling you right now, a whole lot, apparently. So then this jail lady got up there. Now she has like an official name and an official title, but we just gonna call her the jail technician, right? She works at the jail and she's in charge of the mail. So if you're in jail and you mail a letter out, they just lick a stamp, put it on, it goes on its merry way. Apparently nobody checking that. But if it gets returned to center and sent back to the jail, then they open your mail. That does not seem like a very secure system. Also, they should maybe not be telling all the prisoners that, but don't go by me. Anyway, so she's like, I'm the jail lady and I'm in charge of opening up all the mail. So I was opening up mail that had been returned back to the prison as returned to sender. And I find a piece of mail that's addressed to Jimmy. So she opens it up and she's like, oh, what have we here? So she reads it. the way I want this job. Now, do I have a job? Yes, I have a very busy job. I don't have time to be opening return jail mail, but on the strength of I'm super duper nosy, I might do it as like on a volunteer basis. If y'all could just scan it to me and I could read people personal business, I would greatly appreciate that. Anyway, so the jail technician opens Jimmy's letter that was returned, and she reads it. And inside this letter, she finds where Jimmy has written to one of his former jail colleagues, and it's like, hey boy, hey, how y'all doing? I hope you and your wife is good. How's your mom and them? Listen, if you would help me like get my alibi together, I could help you out. I could offer you money. I could offer you free dental work. And if you could just tell the defense this fake story about my wife, how she was plotting and planning all this stuff, that would really help me out. And inside that letter were other letters. She's like, here's 2 letters to give to these witnesses that you have to find. Now, you need to find 2 very attractive women to say that they were friends of my wife, and my wife was planning to unfortunately unalive me so that she could get money in the divorce. But we have to have a code word, you know, like a safe word. So the safe words are going to be Captain America and Harry Potter. This is positively the stupidest man on the planet Earth. Never. And I have covered a lot of true crime cases. You would be very, very hard pressed to find a criminal that is dumber than Jimmy, whatever his last name is. You know, I can't remember. In my mind, he's Jimmy Waffles. And let me just explain real quickly about the Jimmy Waffles. James was on all these different, James Craig. Yeah, Jimmy Waffles was on all these different dating websites where he was just like, hey, I'm a rich man. I'm looking for a sugar baby. Baby, you ain't have no sugar. You ain't even have Splenda. You had nothing. You about to file for bankruptcy for a second time. But if you gonna lie, you might as well tell people you were $10 million. So he's out here telling people he's $10 million. And his screen name was James and Waffles, which I have shortened to Jimmy Waffles. He's a scumbag. Anyway, so he wanted the jail colleague to find some attractive women. Couldn't be ugly women. You couldn't find regular women. They had to find some hot women, a scumbag to the end, to say they were friends of my wife, and I'll give them free dental work too. And this is all gonna go real good. Love, Jimmy Waffles. Dumbass. Okay, so look. This trial rolls on today. I'm trying to get my pressure down. This man is so stupid. Painfully stupid. So none of us are going to feel bad when he gets sent to prison forever, ever. It's really too bad that they do not have the unalive penalty over there in central Idaho, wherever he's living. But maybe we can resolve that. Call your legislature. In the meantime, I will see you next crime. Bye.